What I said in the newsletter was I was going to bring something along the lines for kaleidoscopes and then show embellishing. Well, I didn't plan on showing embellishing. All I was going to do was show the setup that I use to turn the eggs that I do. So actually, I brought this kit a couple of months ago, I think, and showed it for show and tell, but I got the feeling after I did it that a lot of people didn't really know what I was talking about or what I was showing. So, so what I have is these kaleidoscopes I get from Tom Penninga, and they're, this is assembled. When I get them, they're not assembled, and first thing I do is just assemble them all before I even turn anything. And the blank that you need for this, I think, it can be any diameter, but it has to be 2.5 inches or 2.25. 2.25, yeah. So 2.25 inch long. So this is the blank that I turned yesterday. This is a piece of some kind of locust that got cut down from our power line road. And if we had the UV light, I could tell you if it was black locust or not. So, but anyway, I put these bushings on, and I don't like kits. I'm probably in the wrong place to say this, but I don't like store-bought kits, so I make my own bushings are 3D printed, and I think I'll use these here. But this is a pen mandrel that I'm using. And this blank, when I turned it, it started out pretty. Sounds like you started out pretty centered on one end, but it wandered a lot from the other end. So what I'm going to do is, I'm making an egg, so I'll just make the when you do an egg, it's kind of a Fibonacci thing. You kind of start like 1/3, do a round, and then sort of do it that way. So I'll put the more tapered end on this side, which I just did that backwards. I've got a little burr on here I want to take care of. So once again, I'll put this on. And then I have the bushing. The bushing has just this, if you can zoom in, it's got I can pass these around. I'll just pass this around. Go ahead. It's got a bit of it's got a taper, or not a taper, but a neck on it. So there's a step on it. And the step gets me to the diameter here. I mean, the inside step is it's a 13/15, 13/16, 13/15 would be kind of weird. 13/16 hole that I drill through these. So that's the inside step, and then the outside step is basically the diameter of the egg where I want to be when I finish. So I'm also using on this pen mandrel. I'm using what they call a pen saver, I think, and it's a live center that has a hole all the way through it. And that takes the pressure off, so you're not binding when you're turning a pen. In this case, it's not as prevalent because I'm a shorter distance. So the little bit of turning that I'm going to do today will be to try to make this egg shape. I also use a template that I made, and the template has a few dimensions on it. I generally make them 2 inches round, and it's, like I said, it's 2.25. So these little indication marks on here show me the length of the part, or the length of the blank. And then this one here is the 2/3 rule thing. So I probably don't have a pencil, but I'll just, right behind me. Okay, so I'm just going to mark this. You do about 10 of these in one sitting, and you don't need to mark them anymore. Okay, so I'll do this. I'll try to get this to that shape. And I marked that wrong because I wanted to have this end the longer end. So being a little bit out of round, I'm going to have to go a little bit smaller than my 2-inch diameter. It's just going to want to take me there. So normally, I can come back here and check this. Like I said, it was a lot out of round, so I don't know if you can see. Let's see where it would be. The flats on here go to the bushings, and I'm a little, I got a little gap because I'm not 2 inches anymore. But it's not too bad. So now this is a piece of wood I grabbed because I thought it would be interesting color-wise, but I generally use the plainest stuff I can find. So this was walnut. I probably won it off the raffle table because I don't do a whole lot of kiln-dried stuff. I never buy any wood. So I'll use them to embellish. This one, where's the camera? Well, this is okay if we can look at that. So this one was done with wood burning. And I just used, I guess you'd call it a shovel tip, So this technique of doing these branches and leaves, it's very easy to do. It's very Zen-like to do as well. To me, it's just like, I came across this one time and I just use this for almost anything nowadays. But other examples are, Christmas time, it's a good, this is a holly leaf pattern that I've started. For the berries, I would take not a Dremel, but a Fordham bit, a Cuts all bit or something like that, and do that. And then I would paint these with acrylic paint. I've had, spalted wood. These make nice ones as well. That's all natural spalted. I don't know, camera's going around all over the place. There we go. So that's pretty much what I was going to show. This is actually something else. These are going to be ornaments, but these are hollowed out and glued together. But I bought a router table bit from here, and I think it was 1.25 inches diameter. And I thought, I'm just going to put it in the chuck, and I put it in the chuck in the tailstock, and I just turn it up as fast as I can, and I run it in. It's pretty nice. I didn't think it'd be fast enough, because the router goes typically a lot faster than the lathe. But it worked out, so it hollowed these out. And that's just an example of, some of the texturing. This is, I guess, if you think of Rebecca DeGroot when she was here, and that embellishing and that type of stuff. Another one that I had started. And these got to be done before the Christmas season, so. But that's pretty much what I had to show. I wasn't going to actually show any embellishing. I was just going to show how I set these up and do them. And like I say, if you do 10 of these in one setting, you don't need the guide. You just pretty much got it memory muscle back. So. Well, most of the ones that I do here, I'm gonna use, like, if it's got any wood showing at all, I'll sand this down to some extent, but I'll just use something like generally I'll just use a 50/50 shellac sander sealer, because that's not really what's getting, shown. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Tell us again where you get the kits.
I get them from Tom, and Tom gets them from, he won't tell me. So these kits, they come in, I don't know, how many parts is it, would you say? 6 parts or so? Yeah.
And not counting the jewels.
Yeah.
Bring any today?
Finished ones? Just this one right here. So, so this just goes in here, and then you assemble that, and you're all done. So if like I say, I when I get them from him, I get 10 or 20 at a time, and I'll just assemble them all, put that piece of tape in there that tells me it's assembled, and then I go and get these done, and then put them all together. So they just screw in. I think you can get these from Craft Supply, Penn State. Yep, that type. When they're finished, it depends on. Wow, I actually found that. It depends on how much I embellish them, but they're generally anywhere from, if I embellish most of the ones that I do, if they're spalted or burl or something like that, I kind of think, well, that's embellishing too. You're already getting the fanciness from that. So mine are around 30 to 35, somewhere in there. And
you said you make Christmas ornaments. How do you put the hanging stringy thing together?
well, the Christmas ornaments would need finials. Yeah. So, and that's just something I've started this year with that. I've done these before. I think a lot of people do that, hollow out a ball like this. But I got the idea to use that large half round or round router bit. Basically, it's like it makes it would make a round normally in a flat surface, but in here it just makes a dome shape. So because I'm just going straight in. So I can pass a couple of those around. I mean, you can see this is something that these pieces I've won on the raffle table, and they were too small to do anything with, except glue them together and do something like this. So I can pass a couple of these around. But that's pretty much what I was going to demonstrate today, so I don't know if there's any other questions or...